Hello and happy solstice. Welcome back to Astro Alchemy with Cali and Tabitha. I'm Tabitha,
I'm Cali.
and we're so excited to be here with you today. And I just noticed a synchronicity. So I don't know how this background popped up. The last time I was recording, I had the same background as Cali, but I pulled two card decks for today, and you're not going to believe it. This is the one, which
Wow.
essentially is my background that I didn't know I had. And then here's the other. Oh, you can't really see it very well with the background, but it's matches Callie's background more. It's got the directional totem animals, but then it's got all the starlight and universal energies there. So
It
I think
reminds
that's
me of
interesting that we have matching card decks to our backgrounds.
it reminds me of when you pulled the Archer card when we did our sorry about that. When we pulled our new moon in Sagittarius, the first card that you pulled was the Archer.
Mhm. You know, it's weird. I've got some vibes going on today. Even my cup kind of has that Aurora Borealis kind of vibe to it.
You know what I associate that with is Uranus.
Ah,
Like people that have that on their, because it's like kind of like rebellious colors in some ways, or like they dress like in a very eclectic way. Sometimes that can show up on the ascendant or even the midheaven, like depending on if it's like at like an angular point. So I
mhm.
always like associate it with that because it's like those. And like if there's a transit, I have a sweater that is very much similar to that. So I always like, I call it my Uranus sweater.
Ah, that's so funny.
So what's going on? We have the solstice, we have the darkest day of the year. What energetically
Mhm.
would you describe this as for like how you've been like seeing like archetypally around you, Tabitha?
Yeah, well,
Have you been
it's
noticing
interesting.
anything?
It's interesting that you say that or pose that question because I've actually been getting some like uh oh my gosh, Y2K, trying to think of the name. I've been getting like Y2K vibes actually. People in a lot of like fear and panic state, people in euphoric state. And then there are people that probably, you know, aren't really tuned in or like watching the same type of things that I've been watching. But a lot of talk about new Earths being unveiled and, you know, Earth dying and new Earths awakening and people awakening. And it's just, I don't know, a lot of rhetoric that people are either like completely in fear or euphoric about it. And then there's the camp that probably either doesn't know or doesn't care and just like, okay, these people are, are like in their own little world. I'm going to keep doing me. But yeah, I think that's an energy that I've been picking up on. How about you?
Well, when we're at this place in the year and the darkness is darkening, and then we have the way that society expects us to be. Like I've been the busiest I think I've been almost all year. And I just think that that's been like energetically, just like personally been very difficult to even practice what I preach because I really want to go into the darkness, into this healing space and this hibernation space, and haven't been allowed to. However, the work that I have been doing has been laying the ground for me to incubate for this next 2 weeks for me to um, ground and to be in a safe environment. And the this hibernation period, like the darkening of the dark, and now the switch is happening and the light is coming back,
Mhm.
even though the darkness is still dominant. So just thinking about that and watching um, people around me kind of feeling a similar way. We're all kind of in this rush, if you celebrate the holidays, to get all of the elements ready to cook a big feast and to get all of these get all of this pressure off our backs so that we can enjoy and be with each other in a state of peace. And I find it really interesting what you're saying is that there is not peace that you're seeing in terms of this Y2K cycle kind of
I'm
happening and coming
seeing
back.
just different pockets, I guess is the best way to describe it, because I'm not in your pocket. I actually am in kind of a state of like hibernation and just restfulness and not getting in the hustle and bustle of it. And it makes sense that you're seeing that around you because it's like, you're resonating with that frequency, right? Like, so like, I'm not really seeing it around me so much because I'm like resonating with like the frequency of rest and like not doing as much. So, yeah, there are definitely like different pockets and different energies. And, I would say, to those who want to be in a more restful space, like take the steps to do it. You have the power to do it. Like I'll give the example of years ago. I was in this job that it was just one of those jobs that just like sucks all of your energy. And I, for months, had been wanting to get out of it. And I'd had some promising job interviews, but either I turned the job down for some reason or I didn't get offered the job in other scenarios. And this went on for a few months. And then there would be a period of time where I didn't see any jobs that seemed to resonate. So I didn't even apply for anything. And I just kind of felt like stuck in this, like what I felt like was a toxic environment. Just trying to do things to like shift my environment. I was diffusing essential oils and I was, bringing in crystals and like all these like very energetic approach to this whole situation. And I had an energy session with someone and she was like, well, you know what you need to do, right? I was like, no, I don't. Like, I feel like I've tried it all. And it was like the most obvious thing. It was quit. And I was like, oh man, like, could I really just quit? Like, could I really do that? And then like the more I sat with it, like the more right it felt. And the more I just like really stepped into this energy of like leap and the net will appear. And I sat with it for a couple of days, but then I gave my notice. And then within a couple of weeks, I had all these job offers. And so still working my notice as these job offers are coming in. So I still have income coming in. And it, I had multiple options as far as like having a job lined up once I left that energy behind. But all this to say, like, you have the power. Like if you feel overworked, cut back on your Christmas decorations, cut back on your Christmas shopping, cut back on the number of hours you're working, like you have the power to do that. There's no magical crystal or like essential oil that is going to solve that situation for you.
That's so interesting. It's like that those elements, like they can help you get into the presence, but it's not a band-aid for something bigger that your spirit is calling you to do.
Right. They can assist and support, but they are not going to drive the change.
I feel that.
I mean, in certain situations, right? In certain situations, if something comes in and creates an energy shift, whether that's a moldavite or some other like high energy crystal, like sometimes that can be the catalyst, for you to do something that creates long lasting, meaningful change. But a lot of times these things in our environment, be it plants or crystals or, anything else in our environment, it's really there to support us on this journey versus like creating the journey.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So solstice readings, what do you think the cards can pull right now to tell us? Like,
Oh,
would
do you
you?
want me to just do like a
Yeah,
general?
yeah, I
Okay.
would love that.
Do you want me to do just like a one card, like what is the energy of today, or like what do you think our viewers would be most interested in hearing?
How about I pull a card for the light returning? So maybe just a card
Well,
to just receive
he
in
wants the
general.
light. I'm so excited that today is the shortest day because that means that starting tomorrow, we're working our way back to the summer.
Oh, yes.
Summertime is my time.
June, here we come.
Yeah, as soon as it gets dark out, which is like so early now, it might as well be 9 o'clock at night. It just like as soon as that light's gone, I have like zero energy left.
Mm,
Oh, well, this is perfect for hibernation. I got a grizzly bear.
nice.
Yeah, grizzly bear with a salmon. It's about power. It says, I am indestructible. I honor my intuition and go where it leads. Love and gentleness are my real strength. I never give up. I never give up. I will succeed. So I think this is important about honoring your intuition, especially for the people who are maybe like overworked or like doing too much without like a true why behind it. It's more like out of a sense of obligation, but there's not really um like a core behind it of
Mm.
needing to do these things for like a certain reason. And so
Or without
just
any
to
end
follow
in
that
sight.
intuition of like, if you're being called to quiet down or hibernate or take a step back or rest or get more sleep, like to really follow that. Like, what is the reason that you are running yourself ragged? Or, what is the reason that you feel that you have to, oh, it's the word that I'm looking for, but essentially work yourself to the bone. It's like, where's that, maybe like drill down into like, where's that coming from? And then also, if your intuition is telling you something else, like follow that, like, get more sleep, do less stuff.
Yeah.
Here's the card.
Oh, wow. It's like there is a formidable force backing you, and you can connect with your higher purpose so that what the grind, so to speak, um,
Mhm.
you can reconnect with that and find the
Well,
why.
nurturing yourself, like
Mm-hmm.
get all those nice little omega fatty acids. I
From the
mean,
salmon.
metaphorically speaking here, so that you can hibernate well, so that you can be taken care of during those months where you're just kind of in your cave.
So right now, there's a lot of like,
Definitely a very solstice card. It's like wintertime, there's snow in the background. You got the bear with the salmon.
yeah. And I'm also just like thinking about how there's this solstice happening around a new moon as well, like, and
Mhm.
how the waning moon, the darkening, and that there's just like this double emergence happening. So I would love to discuss what area of the chart that is activating, but also that there's a few other things in the astrological sphere that are happening and that have just happened. Number one, Jupiter has entered Aries, ruled by a retrograde Mars,
Mm.
and what that means for others. But we will be talking about the Capricorn moon space for others. So, shall we move on to the new moon in Capricorn?
Yeah, while you're pulling that up, I'll just pull a card for that energy from the other deck just to create balance here. And see
Oh,
what comes up for that.
Yes, I'm getting my software put together.
Oh, interesting. Fire. Passion, do what excites you, get fired up about your life, increase your energy levels. So with this goes back, kind of ties into what I was saying about like the why behind things. Like if you have a why and you have a core and you're passionate, like that energy comes naturally. You don't feel depleted when you're like working from a place of passion. You know, that fire like actually is fueling you. So it's like the opposite of like doing things out of obligation and getting to a place of depletion. Like the passion is feeding you. So here's the card.
Oh, the fire horse. I love that. It's very Sagittarius energy too.
Yeah, so I guess I should talk about the decks I'm using. So the deck that had the Aurora Borealis is the Oracle of Unicorns. Let me get the camera just right here with the background.
Oh, right on.
And then the other one is the Spirit of the Animals Oracle.
Oh, nice. Do you work with a lot of animal energies, or do animal spirits come to you?
I don't know if I would say a lot. I would say occasional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do work with it. And I do work with animal energies, but not all the time.
I see. I could definitely see you as someone that's like able to like communicate with them though, like, and understand like what they're trying to say if they are around people or situations where they're not being, or maybe being misunderstood.
Well, then I have my three that I live with that that I communicate with all the time.
Exactly. All right. So Aries, I have the Capricorn new moon in the 10th house. This is a very public house. The new moon energy doesn't necessarily have to bring new beginnings. Sometimes it can bring an ending that can bring in room for something new. Is the career door knocking a lot right now? Are there female boss energies coming into your space? I mean, you've had Pluto hanging out here as well. So if your MC is anywhere near that Pluto point, like change or ending of a career. So I'm just sensing a lot of career energy. And we also have the Jupiter piece as well, Jupiter entering your first house. This has happened once before, but now Jupiter is here and not going to be moving backwards, and is here to stay. So there's a shift, there's some vitality, but it is also ruled by this retrograde Mars, which will be moving forward in January. So this is a longer transit. This is about another like 6 months or so. But yeah, overall, the energy of this new moon is concentrated in your 10th house, and the ruler being in the 11th. There is going to be themes of if there is some sort of new beginning, that maybe it is connected with your friends group as well. So just looking for themes of your career house, and if there's just a lot of your directional focus pointed on your career.
I think it's interesting that this is the first, theme that's come out, or the first reading that we're doing is about the career house, given the example that I just gave.
What a way to initiate. Do you have a card?
And maybe there was a message in that somebody needed to hear. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you have a card for Aries?
Sure. Why don't we just stick, since we just had the fire horse, we'll stick with that deck. Support. Oh, so this goes back to what you're saying about the friend group. Ask for help, get more rest, nurture yourself. So just, I feel like this isn't about making sure that you get support, but rather the message here is that you will have the support that you need, was what I feel this card is about.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Work smarter, not harder. And since there's this like Saturn in Aquarius, maybe there's some technological support that a friend
Or
could
even
pass
just
on to you.
structure,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yes.
supportive structures in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially because like the minute that Venus entered into Capricorn, I felt like this burst of um being 5 to 6 steps ahead and like almost like being pushed like or pushy. And I was like, oh, is Venus in Capricorn right now? Like, did it just shift? And sure enough, 0 degrees. And I was like, oh, here we go. So yeah, and I mean this movement towards Venus and Pluto, I mean there's like money to be made, money to be had. However, it does come at a cost to self if there's just not enough balance with like fourth house energies.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move ahead to, do you have any more to add to Aries? Any other messages coming through?
No, just listen to that intuition, rest when you need to, but the support will be there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. So for Taurus, this new moon will be in the 9th house. So this is a travel house. It is a riding house. It is the house of spirit. And it is being supported by the 10th house matters. So there's going to be maybe travel possibly for a female character. There's possibly going to be a message as well as maybe even a big message and support. So if there is some sort of spirit journey that you are maybe thinking about that could come to fruition in the next 6 months as well, but maybe just even feeling grabbed towards going on some sort of journey for the spirit, for the higher spirit, connecting with the higher spirit. I could also imagine that there is some spiritual guide or teacher that's helping with maybe a wound of some type that is maybe enlarged because of this Jupiter energy connecting with this Chiron. And then even this, just the south node being, or sorry, the north node being on your ascendant right now, that there is some sort of karmic or spiritual push towards meaning and like this sudden change energy that's trining this. So I'm just seeing a lot of guide and support, and even the ruler of this Jupiter energy is in the house of self-worth. So once this movement of Mars moves forward as well, there's going to be some uncovering, some shift and movement of mental clarity that will be cleared out as well. So just paying attention to higher spirit, even even guides in a religious sense, possibly is 9th house related as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting to like even Venus showing up as like beauty as far as location. So going somewhere beautiful like a Bali, the islands, somewhere, and having like messages downloaded and a spiritual experience, like a peak experience in a place of beauty.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And there is like just the fierceness of Capricorn itself. It is the exaltation place of Mars. So it's the place where Mars is is cool yet controlled and so sharp. So Capricorn energy, have you like this is a theme for you Taurus, like throughout your life, that there's this very sharp uh mindedness and control in the ninth house area, uh period. So like that's the area. So like there's strong duty and strong purpose, that these messages are going to be coming through, and that this connection between the career house as well is connected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What card do you have for Capricorn?
I've got two jumping out at me.
Mm.
Let's see which one feels more appropriate here. Oh my gosh. we got the grizzly bear again.
Oh my gosh.
For Taurus. I am indestructible. I honor my intuition and go where it leads. Love and gentleness are my real strength. I never give up. I will succeed. So it's about power. But yeah, I mean, I could see with Taurus being an earth sign, like, you know, I feel like grizzly bear has strong earth energy and earth connection. And when you talk about that female energy, you know, that can also represent, the bear can also represent the mother and mothering. And I know a lot of times during hibernation, or not a lot of times, but during hibernation is when bears give birth, and just like that feminine quality and energy to bear as well.
Mm.
So yeah, nurture and nourishing. Yeah, here's the card again.
Wow.
I feel like this theme, like, even with the, you know, with the fire horse that we had there, just kind of keeps popping up of like, and even in the last card, you know, with the support, it's like this idea of like rest when you need to. Like that's come up like 4 times in a row now.
Oh yeah, even before we started.
And I mean, it's very apt for the solstice, right? Like it's like literally the shortest day of the year. Rest when you need to.
Oh, absolutely. All right, we'll just move on to Gemini. So Gemini, just get there it is. Gemini, this new moon is happening in the 8th house. And this is because Capricorn's whole sign house sits in this place. So the ruler of this new moon cycle is Saturn in the 9th house. So this is a place that is unseen from the 1st house, and that's because there are aspects that only the 1st house can see. So the 8th house is a region that is called the idol place. And this is the house related to death. It's related to sexuality, because it's this place of like Hades, the underworld. So when there is a new moon in this area, themes of sexuality, themes of like the death house. So there's maybe an ending of other people's monies or support, because it is like the place of taxes and maybe money or resources that maybe you don't necessarily have access to. So this is also the place of inheritances. So if there's any financial pressure right now, or there's some sort of ending that is in your radar right now, um, the connection with the ninth house of spirit, is there a release of some type that you can receive through ninth house matters, or support in receiving support from ninth house matters are also related to a lawyer or those sorts of like situations. Having the first house Mars situation, there's been identity thefts, there's been attacks in that regard. That's the themes that I've been seeing overall in space. Financial, people appearing as two people, even like the way that you may have thought or felt about yourself in the past and the way what you're working through. It's not all bad. Sometimes Mars on the first house is like, oh, I have a drive to work out, or like that type of energy. But because it's retrograde and has been hanging out there for a long time, once it starts to slow down and then move forward again, there may be themes of this Mars in a double-bodied sign start to repeat. So again, we have this theme of 8th and 9th house matters connecting, and even maybe women involved. And I also wanted to state that having Jupiter in the place of his joy is really lovely for friends and connections. So your place of identity and friends, there is a connection there as well. So I would love to hear what Tabitha has to say about the topics and themes that I have stated for Gemini as well.
See what what comes up here for Gemini. Oh, yeah, so this ties in. So I got the awareness card. So the card says live in the moment, be conscious of your thoughts, look for signs and guidance. But I feel like this more so speaks to what you're talking about, of like that the energy of like potential identity theft, or like just needing to watch your back, be aware, just use like simple like safety things when it comes to your personal information, maybe investing in a monitoring service so you can catch things earlier, so that you can be made aware when there are changes. But here's the
Oh yeah, especially because this new moon is happening in an 8th house. So like credit cards, like other people's money. Oh, it's lovely. I love that card.
Yeah, if I can.
Especially because it is also like a house.
Hard with the filter sometimes.
I wonder if you put your hand behind it. I wonder
Oh
if
yeah, I'll try that.
Nope.
Yeah. I feel like that made it worse.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a unicorn like in this green mist, like mane flowing. But yeah, I think it's remaining aware to the issues that Cali mentioned, so that you can continue to stay protected.
Yeah. And like you have this support from friends in the place of the 11th house, like, and formidable friends, like very, very positive friends. So I don't know if there's some sort of, pardon?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that like that if there was any kind of identity theft that had to do with like travel, or like anything that you're like entering your credit card in, because this 8th house has a lot to do with like credit card, and like other people's money is like the bank, that holds your like your money. And there is a connection between a Mars and Capricorn as well. But this 8th and 9th house situation is what I was referring to.
No, I was just going to ask, with Venus being there, could that also represent like artwork, like someone breaking in and stealing works of art?
Yeah, well, she's the
with that
goddess.
Mars,
Um,
or
yeah,
not
I mean,
so?
like it's more of like it's uncanny that like this connection that I've seen in the mundane space and with clients is that there's been um with aversion places like Mars being in an aversion place and other people's charts, that there's been identity theft, or there's been maybe like just be protective of like your own like not patents, but like your own like
Like intellectual property.
yeah, intellectual property. Absolutely. And is there like a female that's involved in that? Was there like any kind of feminine connections or pushiness or like and like
Keep it on a
even
need to know basis.
yeah,
Don't
yes, yes.
don't go tell everyone about your ideas.
Yeah, like protect your card deck, for like investments. Like if you're sharing like with investors, for example, and you have ideas, like be very clear and can about who you discuss that with, having good contracts, um, because there is this connection with the ninth house. So I'm seeing that story. But again, you do have fierce friends in the 11th house that are there for you in any case. Because there is this, it is a square, but it's a square from a benefic. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and even in terms of intellectual property, like just even like not giving away too much, like in terms of job interviews, sometimes you go places and they want you to propose either how to solve a problem they're having, or to give them a plan, just being careful, like
Free
how
work.
much information are you divulging,
Mm,
because you don't want to do their work for them, especially like in a non-paid situation, like you're just there for
right.
an interview.
Especially with this Pluto here. And then there's this like Neptune hanging out in your 10th for a while as well. So is there any kind of illusion or like, like wool over the eyes that comes with your ideas, it being so high at the top of your chart as well. So just having friends to back you and having contracts, ninth house, while this new moon is I I like to say pressure, putting a pressure point on this area. And it is a place, it is the opposing place of uh your self-worth and money that you generate and that feeds you. It's the opposite, the opposing position of that. So you pulled the awareness card. I love that card for I love that card for this because it is in inversion places. So I love that. All right, so let's move on to Cancer. Excuse me for a second. Why doesn't it let me? It's not hopping down. I might have to stop my share and come back.
Technology.
Technology is upset with me. There we go.
Well, are we still in the Mercury shadow, or did it already go retro?
Let's take a look. Well, Mercury has not yet
Is
gone.
it today, right? Does it go retro today?
Let's see.
Am I making up stuff?
It goes retro. That's a very good point. Retrograde. He's slow right now.
Okay.
So December 28th, he goes retrograde.
Oh, okay. So we have a few days, but yeah, we're still in that pre-shadow. So
Yeah, so like his
wonky
speed,
stuff.
yeah, his speed is slowed. Let's go back to, there we go. That's a very good point because there's a lot of like energetic shifts that are happening around this solstice. And I see this as a precursor to all of the energetic shifts that are happening in March coming up.
Oh
So,
my gosh. Yeah. You know what
right.
else I just popped into my head too, with the way I was saying, I was seeing a lot of like stuff lately just in the media kind of mirroring this like Y2K energy. And by that,
Oh,
I'm not talking about like the electronics of it, but just like this whole kind of like panic in the collective. But it's interesting that we are like re-experiencing a similar energy, like going into a retrograde, because that's exactly what a retrograde is. It's a review. It's a, you
Mm,
know,
mm,
like let's revisit, let's do over. So that
mm.
I just made that connection just now.
Yeah. There's a stellium happening in an angular house for Cancer in let me make sure I'm annotating. I am not. Darn it. There we go. Annotate. Draw. There we go. So there is a stellium happening here.
And did
And
you mean for this little text box to be open?
nope. Let me just move that. Stop share and go back. There we go. And I am going to share. All right, can you see that now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now we're all clear. So there's a lot of newness, or in terms of like where this balsamic moon hit, which is the current position of the moon, is endings of a period where there was a lot of overwork, because this is the sixth house area. So there was an ending right now, going into this period of the other. And that can be also a time where the self kind of gets neglected, and because of this huge stellium that's happening in the seventh. So there's tons of other people's energy, maybe even dominating a partner, messages from other people. So there's just a lot of consciousness of other people. And there's this Pluto energy as well. This Mars retrograde in the 12th as well. It's an unseen house. So there is, again, this theme of psychologically, is there moods or pressure or hurt from the past that is entering into the psychological space that needs to be cleared. It is a place of dreams at night as well. So you had this movement of Jupiter from your ninth house, which is, higher learning, connecting with the higher self, that is now moved into the place of career. So there's this expansion that's going to be happening in your career house, maybe all of this hard work that you've been doing, that will now appear as maybe even a teacher, or helping you through some sort of ability to point and click, like having that initiating energy, that an expansion in this area. So the reason why this seventh house energy is so dominant as well is because it's also ruled by the eighth house of other people's money as well. So similar to this Gemini energy, but different in that maybe you are getting assistance and help from inheritances, and the support that, like, you have to do something in order to get it. So there is some sort of like obligation that you have in order to receive that support. However, there's going to be a lot of duty involved, because there's like, you have duty to the other, this like theme of Capricorn. So, I mean, that's a lot of stacked planets that's pointing to the other right now. So I'm interested to see what the cards have.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of like right in line with what we're talking about, with the sense of duty, but also, these other people in the seventh house, because they got the white stag protector card.
Oh, wow.
So again, we're getting lots of like solstice cards today. Like this gives me like a very wintry vibe. So the card actually says, you are an old soul, your best friend is nature. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go and awaken to the powerful force within you. You're meant to create blessings with your magic. But kind of taking that message aside and just like looking at the card and like the imagery with the card, we have protecting in like two ways. Like there's the self-protection, right, with the stag and the antlers and the I'm a formidable force, like don't mess with me. But then also a protector is like also a protector of others. So being stepping in and really covering and protecting some of those interpersonal pieces, shielding them from that's the word I was looking for, like shielding them from harm. White animals, albino animals are rare in nature, and so that's why when they appear, they are imbued with this magical quality a lot of times, because they're so unique and special and rare. But yeah, just this idea of you being able to protect not only yourself, but to protect those around you.
Oh, I love that. And I just also wanted to state that the moon in Capricorn is far away from home. So your Cancer in general, if you have a moon in Cancer, if you're a Cancer rising, if you have moon in any sign in your ascendant, the lunation cycle is going to have a very, very personal, maybe even physical, maybe even mental effect. So this is called exile, far away from home. So again, there's just multiple signs pointing that other people, your spouse, that there's just a lot of your energy getting pulled into the other, and maybe that has some sort of effect on the money that you receive, or getting some sort of grant, or like there's some sort of reset happening for other people, and that may have some sort of tie-in with money in some regard. So just paying attention to especially because there's this, I mean, Venus and Pluto being together, that can make big money, that can make big things happening, like in a Venusian way. And then we have the Mercury that will be going retrograde on the 28th. So contracts with other people, and then the ruler being in the 8th for quite a while. So just
that can tie in with the card too, with that whole like magical quality of this money like magically coming in now as a result of these.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's what I have for Cancer, but there's also this Neptune on the MC as well. There's been, dreams and messages coming through, that and the images that they've had, if you had strong images, especially when there is a new moon and a full moon, that energy is absolutely cranked up a notch. Journal it, see if there's any correlation with the lunation cycle, and just permission to allow that energy to support and guide you when you need to rest.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to move forward. Ooh.
Was it stuck again?
No, I wanted to make sure that this did not disappear again. Mouse. Okay. Here we have Leo. So for Leo, the whole sign house that this lunation cycle is, that the moon is getting rebirth through, is in the house of the sixth, which is it's called the illness house, but it's also the house that is called the joy of Mars. So if you are a Capricorn sun, for example, and you have a ascendant Leo, um, the people that would reflect this area are like martial arts experts, people that
Mhm.
have this warrior spirit to them. So um, having this space, this work space being in aversion to the first house, there could be a theme of not even being aware of um, how hard you're working and just being on the elliptical all of the time. So this lunation is drawing attention to this area and can really draw attention to like, how can I have a structure? How can I reformat structure to this area for my health? So I just want to bring awareness to this area so that you can have a moment to contemplate how your work habits and your health and wellness are right now. So are there strong trainers in a feminine way, like assisting you? There's this very, very like strong message like of Mercury coming through, and this like big messages because there's Pluto here as well. Like, are you making a lot of money right now because you're working so hard? And is there going to be some sort of resolve for that? So other people um, are in play here. So you've had Saturn in the seventh for quite a while, but this lunation specifically is being supported by the sixth house. So this sixth house ruler and the seventh energy. And we have this 11th house energy here of Mars. Um, is there um, is there been some friendships maybe that have like from the past come back and opened a wound again? Has there been someone that has appeared that as a friend but is actually an enemy? Has there been someone that maybe you've trusted that's come back and not been who they appear to be or are different? So just a warning of this Mars in Gemini in the 11th, Gemini being a double-bodied sign, a Mars being injurious and discordant, um, and moving backwards. So that's the theme that I just wanted to draw attention to for Leo. Your solar energy and your ability to sustain light for other people, and to assist others in these processes. I have no doubt that your trine from Jupiter in the ninth will also help you in this process. So teachers coming into your life that will assist you in your higher learning and a connection with your higher self. But also with this Chiron here as well, that you may be experiencing teachers that may have a wound of some type. But I'd be really interested to hear what the cards have to say for you, Leo.
Mhm. I feel too, and correct me if my interpretation does not sound accurate to you, but I'm not a Leo rising, but I am a Leo sun. And so I feel like some of this still kind of comes into play here. And how I feel this is showing up for me um, is, and even I think Mercury could a little bit be representing just media and coming across different platforms for working out or health routines or exercise, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or online platforms of courses or what have you. But for me, I feel like this is showing up a little bit with the Capricorn. So if I'm not mistaken, Capricorn uh, is rules the tendons and the ligaments and all of that.
The bones, yeah.
So what I feel like is happening for me personally, and so maybe someone out there can identify, is I've been trying to find like a workout plan that works for me that I can stick to. So I've been trying different forms of yoga. I've been trying dance. I've been trying just like fun workouts, like workouts with music where you're doing different movements. But I keep re-injuring my tendons.
Oh.
So I feel like that kind of, as a non-Leo rising Leo energy person, I feel like that's kind of the form that it's taking for me.
Well, you have Capricorn moon as well. So there's like kind
I
of a
do.
connection happening here as well. And the Capricorn moons have a tendency to overwork at times. They have this like strong structure, as opposed to moon in Cancer, where it's a little bit more of the almost like this receptive, like able to pull in energy. So I'm just imagining being on a beach and just knowing that the tides pull in the water without just being that rock that is the satellite that connects to Earth, as opposed to moon in Capricorn, where it's like the force of their own will and their power, like their physical, like that's how they
I
move the tides.
definitely can identify with that.
So that's where like moon and Capricorn, or Capricorn energy itself, where it's like a similar vibe, where it's like the more well, they're both feminine signs, but the moon in Cancer just as it is has that pull, and that can bring people in. Like even Cancer rising can feel this way, where just as they are, they can pull in, and almost like that siren energy of like, come to my my space, that kind of vibe. So I mean, this sixth house vibe, having all of this traffic going through here, it is so important to be in alignment and doing what you love. Why? Because having the sixth house vibe of nonstop, like trying to move towards a place of resolve, but getting pulled away from it. Illness can come if you're not in alignment with what you feel is your higher purpose. So it is not seen by the first house, and your ruler is in the sixth house so there's just so many striations, so many like pools of energy that are being pulled and ruled by the sixth house space. So
yeah. And I don't think we mentioned this earlier, so sorry that we're mentioning it like halfway through, but this will apply to your sun, moon, and rising, but like your rising sign is going to be the most accurate. So if you know your rising sign, that's the one that we encourage you to listen to first or to place the most weight on. And if you're not sure what your rising sign is, there are several places that you can look that up, including astro.com, which is a site that I really love. And I promise that I shuffled. I think the cards are just speaking very loudly today because we keep getting the same ones. But I love this because it's very Leonine. So I got the Passion card again, but this card just reminds me of Leo, like the passion, the fire. Again, the message is do what excites you, get fired up about your life, increase your energy levels. And even what I was saying, about me and finding an exercise that I can get excited about. Like I'm looking for things that involve dance and music. Like I'm trying to find an exercise routine that can fire me up. So this is the card. So we've had 2 cards to repeat so far. So the cards are speaking very loudly.
yes, I mean, Jupiter going into a fire sign and trining your ascendant, I find that really interesting. And it just occurred to me too that like I am a Leo moon, and the things that I'm feeling thematically still tie in. So even if you don't know your ascendant, like if you do know your moon sign, that this information can be helpful
Yeah.
as well.
Sun, moon, or rising. Um,
You
so,
don't have to know your exact birth time to be able to receive some messages throughout this
and you
process.
can listen to all three, and just kind of
Oh
piece
yeah.
together what's going on for you.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm interested to hear what resonates with you here because you're a Virgo rising. So we have Virgo here. So this new moon energy is happening in a place that is seen by the ascendant. It is the fifth house. It is the place of uh, the joy of Venus. And so, what is the joy of Venus? This is the place, like your local pub neighborhood. It's possibly a new romance, even if you have uh, maybe a renewed energy of romance. Even if that doesn't mean that you've ended a relationship, it could be that there's a new renewed sense of opportunity for a new renewed sense of spark in a relationship, trying new things sexually as well, um, with this Venus Pluto here. And then we also have this Mars in the 10th, which I can't not see. Can't not see at the very top of your chart. So um information, I know that you've had themes of like people not showing up, including me, like when they say they're going to, like, so like people that have
I've
been,
had a ton of that. Like,
yeah,
is that part of this Martian energy?
well, it's this double-bodied like information that's moving retrograde, like this drive, this energy of wanting to move the career forward, but it's like you're going backwards into seeing
Mm.
like patterns that are not conducive to movement forward. People like not being sure, being
Mhm.
unsure, like in your environment. So that's what the like career house environment is looking like. And I mean, this has been happening since he started to go retrograde, and even before, just like the entrance. So it's not only this like trying to trudge forward when there's like backwards movement, and it's a double-bodied like air sign, which is like the movement of information, not being like uncertainty, like lack of clarity, like that type of thing.
That
um
I can identify with
yeah.
on several fronts as far as job stuff, like even in terms of me bringing my yoga out into the world. It's like two
Mm,
steps forward or one step forward, two steps back.
yeah,
So
and then there's this like fifth house related to the sixth right now. So the fifth house is being supported by the sixth house matters, like wanting to find structure in the sixth house, health house matters. um this is in charts of people that have this in the sixth. It's like people that have been in some way like advocates for people that maybe have some sort of physical disability, that type of thing. Like that's what it like I've seen like natally. However, when it comes to like your personal, like how have fifth house matters and sixth house matters been connecting at this point in time for this new cycle? So your fifth house, like your Venusian themed items, like sexuality, like has your if your work house or like illness, has there been some sort of connection here, and is in the process of finding an answer to that, is that coming into play? So there's messages, there's pardon?
I was just saying at a very basic level, it comes into play because if you don't have your health, what do you have? You can't
Mhm,
you can't enjoy your money, you can't enjoy your
mhm,
creativity, your pleasure,
mhm,
you sex, whatever it is, like there's if you don't have health, you lack in literally every other area because you can't what can you do if you don't have your health?
mhm. Absolutely. I love to hear what the cards have to say.
Oh, it's interesting. We're getting all these magical creatures today. So I'm not even on the unicorn deck right now. I'm on the animal spirit animal oracle deck, and I got a unicorn. So it's 2 unicorns and 2 butterflies, infinite possibilities. You are the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of light. Abandon the darkness. Go beyond the ordinary and become the legendary. Which is kind of like right now we're at that precipice, right, of like switching over, like going back, starting tomorrow, like moving back into that light again. This is a beautiful card. I love the message on the card.
I forgot to show you too that the crystals that I chose to work with, one is actually looks like, I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like a unicorn. It's selenite. I don't know if
I can.
Yeah. Here, can you see it now?
If I hold this behind it, if you can. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this background's not very helpful for putting the card close to the camera. Yeah, I see your unicorn horn. That's interesting. Yeah, because we had the white stag, we had some unicorns in the other card deck, and then this one here. Yeah, I mean, I think this is an important message too, like knowing that you're sovereign, like in the physical reality, but also in the energetic space that you take up, that you do have the power, to transform yourself and then situations around you.
Yeah, I love that. The piece
Go beyond the ordinary and become the legendary. That's pretty cool.
Capricorn energy is pretty legendary, I can imagine. Oh yeah.
Well, and Capricorn itself is a magical animal.
It is, yeah, the sea goat.
I mean, it's the only one like that in the zodiac, right? That's like really a hybrid.
Well, there's the centaur. So
well, that's true. That's true.
Each one of the double-bodied signs is each one of the double-bodied signs is in some way, well, more specifically the centaur and
I wasn't thinking of the centaur, but yeah, that would be another magical zodiac sign.
All right, Virgo, we're going to move on to Libra. And the 4th house is being activated by this lunation. So the ruling planet is in the 5th. And I need to plug in laptop. So having the 4th house activated, Libra, the vibe of the 4th house is the darkest point of night. It is the dark night of the soul. It is this place that is where the roots and your family lineage are being activated. And are you going about that in a creative way? Is there a newness in connection with 4th house matters? So, I mean, 4th house can also be just the home simply that you live in, but there's a spirit and a dimension that the 4th house encompasses other than just the physical home that you live in, the energy of your home. So is there a connection between feminine energy, messages, and having this Pluto energy here, having big messages, having an energy that connects with the feminine as well, because this moon Venus. So we also have this 9th house Mars energy as well that I'm being drawn to discuss. It also kind of ties into one of the other signs we talked about of how travel and safety of your money and of those around you. So when you're traveling, if there are like it's like the pickpocketer when you're like in a journey or in a travel, just be very, very mindful of, or maybe like this has been a theme that you have connected with because this Miss Mars energy has been here for quite a while and will be amplified once he starts to station to go direct. But there's this 4th house and 5th house connection that when there's a lot of 4th house energy, it's kind of anchoring you to your roots and home. And that can be heavy, and there can be a sense of duty connected with that. And this trine between Uranus and the 8th as well, unexpected messages and unexpected happenings are also connected with this Venus energy. So, I mean, this can be a healing space as well. Like Uranus can be like bring healing into the root. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what the cards have to say.
Mhm. I am interested as well. Oh, interesting. It's not what I was expecting to come up based on what you're talking about, but this card is all about well, so it goes back to our themes from earlier. The card is compassion, but it's about being gentle with yourself, which has been a theme ever since the first card that we pulled. The message is forgiveness will set you free. See the light in yourself and others. Let's see if we can.
Do you know what that opened up for me? Is that Earth in general can retain and hold on to. So that's just a strong message in general. So, and if that connects to the 4th house, is that if there's any kind of like lineage line, like releasing,
Oh, for sure.
like
Forgiveness
that's,
of like
yeah,
ancestral stuff, things that the
yeah.
root in your childhood.
Mm.
Yeah, to just forgive and set yourself free. Absolutely. It's not the theme that I thought would arise, but it definitely ties in for sure.
Yeah, that really opened up a space in my heart to discuss
Yeah,
that.
and I don't know if I hate that with the background, it makes it difficult to see the cards, but there's actually, so the unicorn is white and gold, the horn is gold, the wings, it's got wings that are white with like a gold center, but then there's like a heart shape over the chest that looks like it has a flower in the middle that is also white and gold. So I think of gold as like this just like healing energy.
Mm-hmm. There's also some energy connecting the 7th and 9th house because Jupiter is entering into your 7th. So Jupiter entering the 7th can be a number of symbols. A Jupiterian warrior like vibe coming through could be a in the form of a business partner, a spouse. It could be even an open enemy. So there's this 7th house uh, vibe that we've had a preview of before Jupiter started to go retrograde and go back into Pisces, but is now completely moving forward. So any kind of vibe of or preview of Aries, Jupiter energy from the past that is now moving forward. So it was just a taste before and is now going direct and moving quickly. quickly through. So yes, the ninth house Mercury ruled Mars. Again, this theme of being careful, maybe even that's even dreams at nights, the liminal space of in between. But in the ruler Mercury in the fourth house cannot see it, so there's a little bit of acting out as well. So
Mhm.
again,
And I mean,
this,
if you are going to be doing any kind of dream work, try to bring that forgiveness into your lucid dreaming.
oh, I love that.
Like shift the dream narrative, you know.
Yes, the allowing and letting go. The forgiveness piece is the most important.
I had a dream one time. So there was a situation that I was holding on to the energy of. This was years ago now. And I had a dream, and it was so vivid. And in the dream, I said to the person, I forgive you. And that same day, I woke up, I'd had the dream like that morning or that night. I got a call from this person, like asking me for forgiveness. And I was like, yeah, like I just totally had a dream about it. Like, I forgive you. But like we hadn't spoken in like at least a year when I had this dream, and then the person called.
Wow. So we can heal from hurt from others and receive messages from others, even if we do not have the ability to have them in our space, but it can also bring actual resolve as well.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a which came first, the chicken or the egg, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it could have been like we were doing dream work together, or I was on his mind, and so like I picked up on that energy and it manifested in my dream. Like who knows like what part of that story came first, but it's just it was very powerful.
Wow.
Very powerful experience.
Because there is this Mars energy for Libra, what would you recommend for dream work? Any herbs or crystals?
Well, I mean, there are always herbs that encourage lucid dreaming. I mean, I have no problem. My dreams are always vivid. It doesn't matter what I take or don't take. But mugwort, like if you wanted to do like a little sachet of mugwort, put it under your pillow, or if you wanted to use it as a tea, blue lotus, passion flower, those are the main ones that immediately come to mind. As far as crystals, even just like a clear crystal quartz, place it under your pillow. If you're, if you feel like super awake and like you can't fall asleep, it might be too much energy for you and you have to remove it again. But if it's, I would say don't do like a huge piece of clear quartz, just like a small one should suffice, and clear it before you put it under your pillow. But that will also and I just like to play like crystal roulette, I just like to like sleep with the one under my pillow and see what happens that night. You've heard some of my stories of different ones that I've tried out, but yeah, I mean they carry messages. They help you tap into your messages and intuition and things like that. So you can try whatever crystal speaks to you. Just if the energy is too strong, you'll know because you won't be able to sleep. So then you might want to think about trying a different one. But yeah, go for it and see what happens.
We're going to move forward to Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. We have third house activation. So this is the house of the joy of the moon. So the moon and the nighttime planets are happier here. And I mean, there has been so much ruckus, I would say, going through your house of identity and self and mind, with like an appetite towards this like faded self-renewal, and then this decreased appetite with others, and like sudden change with all the like just the eclipses rocking these houses
Mm,
for you. So
so
why I
cool.
mentioned that is just like I just wanted to speak to the Scorpios that I have as clients and have been speaking with lately, that this third house vibe can remind us of connecting with the feminine spirit. The joy of the moon is these houses, like sorry, like these, like the space where we weave things, the things that we do that can help put us at ease, like any kind of habit that we can do that calms the mind. So I just think of like weaving as an example, because I just get this like crone like energy, because there's this like Capricorn crone just like weaving, and like the mind is just processing and contemplating. So we have this beautiful Venus energy here. Is there something that you can bring into your habits and rituals that can calm the mind, but also you're able to do something and weave something with the hands? So just in regard to how much lightning bolts of energy have been striking through the house of you and other people, um, whatever that may be, um, some sort of meditation or daily walking meditation, something that you can move around in your local neighborhood. That's what the third house represents. So it's a renewal. It could be an ending of, but also pressure, highlighting this area for you. And it is connecting you to fourth house. And so again, these like some sort of ritual that connects you to your lineage line that is supporting this third house ritual. For me, I can think of it, even though I don't have this energy activating for myself personally. um, are there lineage line things like cooking, or making dough, or whatever that might be, that connects you, just looking for those themes, because you also have a Mars in the eighth house energy, which is an aversion to your first house. So like having an eighth house out of bounds, Mars, like going through this space, you could have other people's money or some sort of identity theft situation happening, that could harm you in some way, especially because it's something that's unseen. So that's what I have for Scorpio right now. Also, a rehabilitation. Jupiter going through the sixth house. Are you rehabilitating in some way? That's a positive sixth house theme. Oh, and I forgot to mention too that the ruler of you is in the eighth house. Like it's that retrograde Mars. So a very intimate connection.
So we have for Scorpio the Puffin card.
Mm.
So again, there's this piece of nourishing and protecting. It says, accept yourself and your colorful personality. Feel confident about being you. You are a bringer of joy. Let your community nourish and protect you. Ask for help. Teamwork will give you the best results. So it's about, the card's about partnership,
Mm.
but give me just a second here. I'm gonna just look up some of this animal symbolism here. Okay, so this says they mate for life. So
Hmm.
they stay together for life without any pretense, which is an emblem of faithfulness. They're committed to family. Let's go to this here. Just trying to see if anything else pops up in the symbolism. Abundance, community, compassion, cycle of life, endings, helping, kindness, love, new beginnings, and relationships are the associations that come up. Because I feel like this may, for some people watching, it's not going to be about partnership specifically. I get like an element of like playfulness and joy from this card, and it actually does mention here you are a bringer of joy on the card as well. But I feel like for some people watching, it may have more of an association with new beginnings or endings or cycles, or maybe even that abundance or community piece of it. So don't get tied into what's printed on the card itself, but more of the energy associated with Puffin in general.
I really love that because there's been so much other people issue or like turbulence going through. I love that message, especially as moving forward in the next 6 months. That's when like the nodes will start to shift out of your first house. So that's good news. I love hearing that for Scorpio.
Well, third house, it's the house of the goddess, right?
It is the house of the goddess.
So, with that ritual piece and like, with the whole joy piece of it just makes me think of like a whirling, like ecstatic dance kind of goddess, like just like embellish, not embellishing, but oh, the word escapes me, but just like really sinking into that joy piece of it.
Oh yeah. The joy of the moon being ecstatic and having that Venus there, the dance, and like Capricorn having association with like there's been some really like the ballet is what I'm getting, and like the puffin is just like this like Christmas like vibe for me. Like so I'm just like this Christmas writing, it's the writing house, so having beautiful messages, having maybe that's like a weaving and a ritual that you can do that you may be pulled to do. So just taking notice if there's any kind of writing flow or messages that are coming through that connect you to your roots. Let's move on to Sagittarius.
Ritualistic dance.
Yes, yes, I love that. Okay. So this lunation is happening in the space of your self-worth. And having the money goddess here is amazing. And having Pluto here as well is also bringing the possibility of an increase to money and how that ties into your self-worth. The ruling planet being in the joy of the moon as well. So how have your daily habits and rituals, the mind, contributed to this new cycle, and how will it moving forward connect you to this new cycle? So your ruling planet in general, Sagittarius, has just moved into a trine relationship, has moved into your 5th house. So children, just the place of Venus's joy. Is there, if you're single, is there an awakening of maybe new dates that are coming through. It's very exciting. Because there's been this Mars and Gemini in the seventh, has there been discordance or even a break that's happened in a relationship, or other people enemies? Like, this is the house of open enemies as well. So if you've been averse to other people, like during this time period, I can understand because of this out of bounds Mars. So just to tie back to what the lunation specifically is enacting, is that there is space for a new self-worth, self-value, and there are habits that can help bring about these any pressure that you're feeling about how you make money, how you feed yourself, how having a sense of duty and a new structure when it comes to how you nourish yourself, and how that brings you self-worth. So I really love this trine between Jupiter and your first house. That's that's going to soften any seventh house vibes that you may have been experiencing. This third house Saturn, like the taskmaster being in charge of these third house, like moon and joy. I could imagine how maybe overdoing or doing too much and having an opportunity to maybe let go or soften, and just being aware of are you spread too thin or they think you have to do more than you should. That's kind of the messages that I'm getting as well. And then there's this like fourth house Neptune as well. That's been there for a while. Being unsure about where you are, where you want to move to, things like that. Neptune can kind of cloud the judgment but can also bring about visions of ancestors as well.
I think you're touching upon themes that just have come up throughout our entire time together here, with the really evaluating, like, am I doing more than I need to do, and taking that rest and that nourishment, and that seems to be a very common theme.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is interesting because we on the last one we're just talking about dance. So dance came up. Move your body to music, dance with the rhythm of life, manifest your dreams through dance. But I think one thing that dance can be really great for is just breaking up stagnant energy, like bringing movement back into the body. Something as simple as just kind of like knocking along your body, whether it's your arms or down your legs or the soles of your feet, but then actually getting up and like physically moving if you can, shifting energy through movement, helping to bring about maybe some of those positive financial changes in your life by just like shifting your energy for the positive, being in alignment with that resonance.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. So for Sagittarius, like this, like there was such a big movement of energy, just quick moving energy of Venus and Mercury moving through previously, and now moving into the second, like this story of reevaluating indulgences as well, like Venus and Pluto in the second house. I just get the the holidays, overindulgence, like
Mm,
being being
yes.
resetting, and then like how does that project for the year ahead as well? So let's move ahead to Capricorn, which is going to have that stellium sitting right on your ascendant. So the soul's light, we have Venus, like is there new beauty, new like new makeup, new like things like that, like that has an effect. Oops, let me clear this stuff out of the way. So we have Pluto that's been on your ascendant as well for quite a while. Like people that have either a Capricorn sun or ascendant, the themes that I've been hearing is almost like there's a resistance to being pulled down into the darkness, into the deep. Um, and with the stellium here, I'm wondering if there's going to be some assistance with that, like messages that are going to be coming through, like having a stronger desire to speak or to find those messages and seeking that new identity. So I see this as a robustness coming through because of this really, really slow movement of Pluto and the ruling planet being in the second house. So your self-worth is completely tied into your identity right now, how you feed yourself. So this taskmaster here um, can feel rigid. However, is it assisting you with the duty and the plans that you have and the just the all of this energy compacting into your first house? So many planets are here drawing attention to and from this place of yourself, of uh, your appearance, to your mind and psychology. So we have this Mars in the sixth house, which is the place of his joy. So there's also this looking for messages of how do I find balance? How do I not overwork? How do I like, are there people in your work environment that are flighty or, like dr- drawing you in multiple directions that maybe you don't see fit? Like you don't think that that's the right solution. So you're having to go rogue and go with your own gut with how to go about them. So I mean, they're in aversion to you, so they maybe like drawing you in multiple directions, but you have so much of your own force. You are a formidable force. And there's this Jupiter going through your fourth, which has just um, been a let's see, what was I going to say? We had a preview of, but now is going through here as well. So Jupiter in the fourth, there's going to be some wisdom and um, just maybe even just positive, like Santa Claus energy going through your house. I think that's like very, very positive in that sense. So some jolliness, but maybe uh this connection here between Mars and Gemini, this connection here, um, there may be some hard work around the house as well. But at any rate, there's so much maybe desire or pull towards reinvention of your identity. So I'd be interested to see what the cards have to say, or that may open up a message as well.
Here. So the dance card was kind of stuck to it. So I guess you can say you got two cards. So we have the dance card, which again was about moving the body and getting into the rhythm of life and manifesting dreams through dance and movement. But the card that came up with it was imagination.
Hmm.
So envisioning a new reality and giving yourself permission to dream and believing in unlimited possibilities.
I absolutely love that for Capricorn, because there's so much of like, if someone has a vision or a dream, Capricorn can be the first energy to be like, no, but I see the limitations. I see the physics that wouldn't work, you know? So sometimes that can be like the the one reason why something comes to fruition, but to allow Capricorn the ability to dream and to look beyond, instead of just looking at maybe the things that could possibly stop it from happening. But especially when it comes to the identity and the self, just giving the imagination the ability to run. And I mean, there is this sextile between Mercury messages about the self with the imagination. This is very, very, very like tight
Mhm.
textile that's forming before he goes retrograde. So
I feel like can also be a very powerful combination, the strong earth energy and this, structured Saturn.
mm,
Really, when you allow yourself to dream into these spaces and these possibilities, I think Capricorn has a unique ability to really manifest
there's
that
the
into
manifestors.
reality through the structure, like seeing like how to take that vision from here and bring it to here, like to the physical space.
Oh, absolutely. I think of it in terms of when you're constructing a house, the framing needs to be put up first. The frames, the structure, the bones of what's actually happening. So I see this this sextile here as a really lovely way that this card is specifically like kind of pointing me toward. So I
Yeah, it's
love that.
like don't go buy the blueprint, like envision the house and work with an architect and
Yeah,
put up the structure.
absolutely. I love that. So we're going to move forward. Oops, too far. So we have Aquarius rising. So the lunation is happening in the 12th. So this can be a difficult place to perceive, be aware of, because it is an aversion to the first house. However, with that said, because of the ruling planet being in his domicile, um, this seriousness, this planet of seriousness being in the first house, um, that because he's in his own house, he has intimate access to the matters that are in aversion. So it's a rare situation where the domicile lord is um, able to access a house in aversion. So I say this because the 12th house itself is difficult to perceive. There is a clearing out. There is possibly this is also the place of unknown enemies as well. So this is a lot of energy happening here in the 12th. It can also be the place of teachers, of psychology, like having guidance from someone that can tap into and interpret psychological uh, places. It's a place of hospitals as well. So it's healing. Is there themes of healing? Is there the taskmaster? The identity is being drawn to clear out, interpret, have a new reset with the 12th house matters. And the 5th house here, so children, themes of children here. Has there been difficulty with themes of children or people in the neighborhood because of this retrograde Mars, which is not exclusive to this lunation, but just in general, just wanting to speak to the themes that this Mars and Gemini in a double-bodied sign can speak to. And with the third house receiving this Jupiter ingress as well, that is the place of the moon's joy, but it's also a place of not only writing, but almost like the daily news. So is there some sort of just like Aquarius, like increase of like your accounts coming into the daily news? So subconscious things coming out or airing out in the news cycle is kind of something that I'm picking up on. Are you identifying with things or themes that are showing up here? And if that relates to any Mars and Gemini situations, identity, theft, that type of like not being sure about like the people that you've met and on dates recently, because that's also the place of like dates and romantic flings and things like that. So if that's something that you are asking Oracle about and answers of right now, there's a little bit of issue with that Mars retrograde happening. You're not sure if what you see is what you get. So if you're in a space where you are having somewhat of an identity crisis or needing some assistance or help with being able to see what all of this buildup is here, just know that your identity and who you are has this this protection with that Saturn energy there. So I'm interested to see what the cards have to say for Aquarius.
Yeah, we just had the fourth repeat of the evening for the afternoon.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we got the white stag protector card.
Wow.
But I think, if you think of some of the things that you're mentioning with the 12th house and this idea of like, doing the shadow work to allow this like transformation, you need a protector, you need you need protective energy there. And so I'll read the card again for those who may just be tuning in just to Aquarius. It says, you're an old soul. Your best friend is nature. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go. Awaken to the powerful force within you. You're meant to create blessings with your magic. So again, I would say pay less attention to what is written on the card than the symbolism and imagery and kind of what comes through the card itself. But I think when we're talking about this 12th house, like personal transformation, shadow work, just to remember that you are awakening a powerful force within yourself. I think that does resonate, with that whole idea, and just making sure that you are not just the protector of others, but protector of yourself and your own energy through that process.
Oh, absolutely. You are your own formidable force.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's move on to last but not least, Pisces. So Pisces rising has this energy of the lunation activating the 11th house. So this is the place of the joy of Jupiter, so the good spirit of friends. Just on a personal note, like I'm going through an 11th house age right now, so this applies. So for me, this is like if each one of these readings was a card deck itself, it's like 11th house and then the 11th house, the theme of the 11th house within the 11th house. So I look at the sky in terms of like the different techniques that exist as a separate oracle interaction. So this 11th house themes with this Capricorn vibe there's messages, and maybe even structured friends, like friends that have messages, and like just maybe gatherings that are connected with like spirit as well. So there's this like very wise spirit that is bringing into the space for Pisces, um, like spirit guides through the voice of friends. So strong messages from friends. So I'm really tuned into listening to the voice of other, like of friends that I trust right now, and they're feeling very strong in their word and their guidance. So there's been a recent switch where Jupiter was in the first and is now in the second. So um, that once in every 12 years cycle has now ended. So it won't be for another 12 years that Pisces will experience its chart ruler. So those thoughts have been going through my mind about my vitality, and how my second house matters are going to um, switch or be switched with that vibe. So I see that as positive messages for money and in the healing of money wounds with that Chiron moving through. And the fourth house themes that I've seen for myself and other Pisces has come in the form of um, how I've been able to constructively use this energy is construction in the home. And maybe that has helped with discordance and injuries by clearing out and making a home gym. So there's that kind of Mars interaction, going over things and creating like things that I've been wanting to do for a really long time have now come to, like, it's like I wanted to paint my room for a really, really long time, but it wasn't until recently that I finally gave myself the opportunity to do that for myself. So that's just an example of a constructive way to kind of loosen up some of that Mars energy that's been traveling there. And that does connect to self-worth and my house and home, but also on a deeper level, how that plays into the root as well. Family line, family lineage, work that I've been noticing and clearing out as well. So that sort of pressure. But to return back to the 11th house, is there going to be new friendships? Is there going to be uh, like strong, strong and structured friendships? I've met so many Capricorns in the last like bit, so I've been seeing this movement of energy just because I am an 11th house age as well. I see it as like those messages and help and support and money flowing in through like good times and money flowing for my friends as well. So just projecting out to the good spirit of friends and just giving a prayer out to them that there's like good money flowing their way as well. So I'm interested to see what the cards have to say for Pisces rising, especially because I am one.
And also, we should have said this at the beginning, but if you find value in the information that we're putting out there, please like and subscribe and share. But let's see what the cards say for Pisces. Oh my gosh, you can't make this up. It's the friendship card. So seek out your soul family, surround yourself with positive people, spend more time socializing. So, oh, and he's got a little, I don't know if you can see, he's got a little squirrel with him
Aw.
right up here.
Oh my gosh. That reminds me of one of my closest friends who is a Capricorn sun in the third. she has a way with woodland creatures. And
Mhm.
so it just makes me think of her. And she's
Yeah,
been
and this one's
experiencing like lots of like Pluto sun situations. So,
this is a different fire energy. Like we had the passion horse earlier, which was like covered in flames, but these aren't flames, but I get a very fire energy vibe from it's almost like he's dripping in um like fireworks or something, you know?
oh, hmm.
I don't know how well you can see, but there's like these little tiny what look like beads of fire.
Maybe I'll
Um
stop my share so we can see. Move out of here. So let's see that card.
yeah,
Oh yeah, there it is.
you can see a
Wow.
little better, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but right on point with what you were just talking about. So it's always nice to find confirmation in the cards.
Oh yeah. Well, there's also a lot of new things on the horizon for us. We are going to take a short break from videos until after the 6th of January. We're going to be contemplating our offerings for videos, but also for Zoom interactions, breathwork, yoga, and oracle work.
Mhm.
And
Of
we
course, tying it all back to the astrology. So we'll be working with the astro energies through yoga, through other things.
Oh yes, because there are some really big shifts that are happening, and just to even have a space where we can intimately discuss them in an environment where we can just allow and bring through our own connection with community. So another 11th house theme. So we will be also bringing in other workers, light workers, where we will be connecting and bringing in and highlighting the talents and hearts of others into the space. And we did skip one of the lunations, but we will be discussing more of the balsamic moon and that energy as well, as what that brings for the new moon energy. I am a natal balsamic moon, and that energy speaks really loudly through me. So I am excited to share more of the work that I do when I teach astrology and how that can um, allow us to harness and make decisions about where we put our attention and our awareness.
So lots of exciting things for 2023. And also, teaching you how to work with this energy for healing, whether you are a healer working in a healing space or whether it's just for your own personal healing and development journey. So we're excited about things to come.
Yes, and we will be again taking a short break for the holiday season, but we will be returning strong with visions forward about how we can assist and use our talents and gifts for the world to share. Just like you have talents and gifts and have power and strength um, to have your dreams manifest. So, um,
Wish
happy.
everyone a happy, wonderful, restful, nourishing holiday season. We'll see you in the
and
new.
and the return of the light.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.